are back, and it has been a long time since we filmed.
Yes.
So let's just get into it because, first off, last time we filmed, I was telling y'all I was sick. Like, we literally filmed that last time, and then we didn't work again.
You were like, oh, I'm starting not to feel good. And I was like, you're not coming over here.
I literally went, when we were filming that day, I blew my nose a lot. And then, remember, we literally were like, that whole episode, we talked about Sudafed, Mucinex, none of that crap working. So I was like, I'm not going to take nothing no more.
You did tell me you were taking some of everything. And I'm just like, well, you're going to have to lay low.
I literally didn't use anything for like a week, and I felt so much better. And I was like, okay, we're good. And then I got the surprise text of a lifetime from my cousin that said, do you want to go to the Beyonce concert? And which we're going to double back to. But I said yes. I went to the Beyonce concert. But mind you, the day before, I had just like told someone, hey, I'm not available to hang out because I don't feel good.
But for Beyonce, he was available.
So I left work at noon. My job told me they weren't approving that PTO. And I left. And Beyonce comes first. I went to the grocery store and I bought some nasal spray and eye drops, and I was good. Like I didn't cough not one time on the way to Chicago.
That's good.
Like I didn't cough not one time. I didn't blow my nose not one time. Like I was just in the vibes. And then I did a little bit of vlogging. I'll have to show you that. Maybe we'll give y'all that. I don't know.
Okay.
And show 20 out of 10. Fantastic.
Everything I've been seeing online has just been like, oh, it's been so good.
It's amazing. I feel as if, I think you told me, you were saying, I don't want to go to the concert this time. I'll go to Act 3 because if I don't want to quote you wrong, but you tell me.
Yeah.
You were like, I don't know that this is, like, country is not mine. I love R&B Beyonce. I love when Beyonce, do her thing.
Yes.
But country, probably not for me, right?
Right. And I feel like, though, did I slightly play myself? Because everything I've been seeing online, she's been doing, like, remakes of some of her classics. And I'm like, dang it, I played myself. But that's okay. That is okay. I am expecting to participate in whatever Act 3 is.
I'm glad you said it and not me, but wow, let me tell you something.
Yes.
She literally, like, it was so nostalgic because I remember her, she just is like out of nowhere singing Irreplaceable. And I'm like, I was too young to have gone to that show. Like, I was still in school when Irreplaceable was, I want to say like maybe middle school.
Oh,
you
know? Wow. Okay.
Or I don't know, maybe not that. I don't know. I know I wasn't working and able to treat myself to a Beyonce concert. And then she did Single Ladies, and she did If I Were a Boy, and I'm pretty sure If I Were a Boy was like middle school.
That is crazy. That was middle school for you?
And she sounded amazing.
I know she did.
Like, she sounded how she did on the record, so I was very happy about that. And then so I feel like anytime she drops, I feel like people who, because a lot of my friends say, we miss old Beyonce, we like old Beyonce. And I'd be like, you actually get glimpse of that at the concert.
Absolutely.
Like, she does a great job of, and the thing I realized about her saying, like, the Renaissance was like a part of a trilogy. So there's Act 1, 2, Act 3. I'm like, oh, she's always going to keep a piece of each in the show.
Yes.
Because she even did Renaissance.
Yes.
Like, at least 6 songs.
Yes, that is amazing.
It was a good honestly, it was weird because I was like, oh, the nostalgia of even just a year ago seeing, or 2 years ago going to her concert.
Yes.
So I was able to relive that. I actually sat down and rested my feet during that part because I'm like, I've seen this part already. So that was nice. But she sounded amazing.
I mean, even just thinking about the fact that when an artist doesn't necessarily need an opener, and then you have the fact that she's not only bringing herself, but she's bringing the family out. Because Blue.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Now, Blue was something else. I was impressed with by the end of the Renaissance tour, I was very impressed with what Blue was doing. But this Blue, oh my gosh.
This Blue has a point to prove.
Yes. I mean, she came out the gate.
Because the first time people were like, so in the movie, she said she saw the comments people were saying.
Okay.
Made her want to work harder.
Yes.
Obviously, it's paid off. But I just was at a function not too long ago, well, literally a week ago at a barbecue. And a couple of people were talking about it because I had just got back from the concert. And they were like, she's so stiff. And I was like, she's 14.
Yeah.
Like, for a 14-year-old dancing, I feel like when you mature and you grow up and you're in your your body,
Yes.
you can dance and you can show that.
Yes.
But dance is a little bit of dance to me. I would think, I'm not a dancer, but I would think you're a dancer. You would know, like, emotion is involved in that.
And not only that, but you got to remember she's 14 as well as dancing in front of thousands of people. I mean, like, let's see you do that at 24 years old and see if you're a little stiff. If that's one of your first times doing something, that's a big.
But there's also a difference in those
thing.
dancers. Like that one girl, I think when we saw Renaissance, the girl in the movie said she was like 19 or 20. It was her first job ever.
Wow.
Was dancing for Beyonce. She got
Yes.
hired from a Twitter video.
Yes.
Of her dancing out of her wig. You remember that? And
No.
But I just remember her saying that, so I feel like even her movements look different than a 14-year-old. Like, you got to give that girl some time to get in her skin and get in her body.
Yes, and even though like little Rumi, when she comes out, like even though from what I've seen, of course, even though when she's like not really performing, just the little piece that they're including her in, like I just thought that was so sweet.
Have you
I thought
seen
that
how
was so
she
sweet.
started out so excited and then she was bored and then she's back excited?
The way that people have been discussing the fact that she was just like, oh, so this is a job. Like I got to do this every day. Like
She
there was
bored.
one video of her just kind of like, I'm over it.
Her mom put her hand on her shoulder and she literally just like the first concert, like she was like this on her mama's hand, and then like the video they showed, she was like, this girl is tired of
She
y'all.
tired of y'all.
And then they got videos of Blue being the manager, and they like, let's talk about it. Because there's this dude on Instagram. I don't know. I got to show y'all him because he looked like somebody we know.
Oh, really? Okay. I want to see that then.
I know it's not a compliment.
Sorry.
But it's so funny. But he's being Blue as a manager, and he like, when I got to the show, I'm recording Blue, and they're doing the song with Rumi.
Yes.
I'm recording it. As I'm recording, I'm trying to watch too. So I got my phone like this. Beyonce stands up and walks with Rumi away, but she's singing in the mic, but she's looking back at Blue. And I'm like, why is she staring at Blue? Like, that's not part of the show. I've seen clips. She's supposed to be walking.
Yeah.
And she's not breaking her focus.
So
I'm like, there's something wrong. Like, there's got to be an outfit malfunction or something.
Yeah.
The show goes on. The next day, I see on Instagram, it's trending that Blue's earring was stuck in her hair. So I go look at my phone at the video, and I zoom in, and I literally see Blue trying to detangle her hair. I'm like, I have this on camera. But it just was like, so I was like, oh, she was making sure everything was straight before she loved
before
it.
she moved on. And I just love, okay, so the recent video I just saw as well is during the performance, someone pans like their phone over to showing Solange, her sister, dancing.
I saw that.
And I just love it because it just reminded me, for one, of the fact of their close bond as sisters, and then you get to see Blue and Rumi as sisters performing together with their mom, and it's a family affair, and
because I know
Solange used to dance back in the day for Destiny's Child.
Oh, I vaguely remember that because she was in the Bootylicious video.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she did tours. She did
I didn't
concerts.
know.
She did concerts and performances and stuff. So it's just always, it kind of just made like a full.
I know
circle.
that like Miss Tina works for Beyonce. She said she works over wardrobe.
Okay, yes.
And she oversees budgets.
Yes.
Not that she works for her, but they work together.
They work together.
And on Sacred.
Yes.
But like for Solange, she's obviously not on payroll. Yeah. But I know that like if I'm a billionaire with my spouse, my family gonna be good.
Yeah,
regardless.
absolutely.
But I also know at the end of the day, if my profession is to tour music and do the same show over and over again, my siblings and my parents are coming to one show and that's it. We're never gonna see them again.
So you just gonna put that out there right now.
So I just really appreciate when you said that because I'm like, yeah, that's right. And they be like in it. Like her mama probably go to almost every show.
Yes.
Solange was in there like she was like lit like she had never seen Beyonce before.
Exactly. But that's the kind of support that you need. Like that.
Oh, my family would be like, boy.
No. I think when you have accomplished as much as that, and
maybe my mom would come to a lot of shows.
Yes, I feel like you would have it. I feel like you would have it.
If we were doing our podcast live and like we were touring and doing shows, my mom would probably be at a lot of them.
Yeah.
Caleb, my siblings are coming to one show, and it's probably going to be the local show. They're
gonna be like,
not traveling.
I'm booked.
Yeah.
I'm booked. I'm not.
They're going to be like, why? My sister's going to say, I saw it on YouTube.
I'm good.
I see you every day.
They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. I don't. Which is part of. Nah, we'll talk about that in another episode.
Okay.
But, let me take y'all real fast through the journey of the show. Though, we got there at 4:30. It was 90 degrees. A part of my outfit was like a do-rag with the cowboy hat. I wanted it to be like City Boy meets Cowboy.
Okay, City Boy
90
meets
degrees?
90
Boy meets
degrees.
Cowboy.
I was very upset about that. I was sweating bullets. It was not supposed to be 90. My phone said the day before I was thinking about what to wear. I was going to do all black, like a dress shirt, because the collar with the cowboy hat, black jeans. And my phone was like high of 80. And I was like, I don't want to be hot like that. And the sun going down later. So I'm like, let me switch to the blue and white.
Okay.
When I tell you, I like a short sleeve, I'm sweating.
Ooh.
Like wiping my forehead. We get inside, take the do-rag off. I'm like, this ain't going to work out. Maybe we got there at 4:30. We got some merch. Shout out to my cousin Danielle, by the way. She was on the podcast with us, by the way. She's the first of the cousins. Go back and watch her episode if you haven't seen it. But she treated me to the concert, and she didn't have to, so it was very amazing. But it started pouring rain on us.
Oh.
And the show hadn't started, and we were there at 4:30. We probably ate food and got drinks, and it was like 6. We looked at the screen, and it was like, the show will not start any sooner than 9:30. And we looked at each other like, oh, this is going to be, like, we sat on the stairs. We talked to each other about life. We walked around. We took pictures. And when I tell you, it got so dark, and the wind was blowing so crazy, like I was getting stuff in my eyes. And I had on sunglasses, and I'm like, this ain't going to work out. Now, all of a sudden, my nose is running.
No.
Like, I'm like, I knew I wasn't better. Then, when it starts pouring rain and Soldier Field has no roof, the wind is blowing the rain through the thing.
Oh.
Girls are running. And I'm like, we are body to body in this building. There's hundreds of people. The floor is not open. So anybody who's sitting on the floor is all upstairs with us.
Yeah.
So the place is like body to body. People are sitting on stairs, on the floor. It's people, not our people, but it's people laid out on the floor, eating on the floor, shoes off, laid out. And I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
But then the guy comes on at like 8:30 and he like, please seek shelter. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
And I'm like looking like, where can I hide if it's a tornado? Like, it was not, my feet are on fire. It was not what I thought it was going to be. And I was like, you know what? I kept telling myself, like, she's going to go harder because of this. Because she is probably upset. Because I think it was supposed to start at 8.
Yeah.
She didn't come on until like 9:50. Yeah. And no opening act. So obviously, she came out. She just was like, thank y'all for still being here. I saw 2 people say, we're out of here. We're leaving.
Really?
Yeah, they left. I was like, and they left at like 8. And I'm like, you waited this long.
Right.
You might have, yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. But the weather was still really bad. It was still pouring. My friend was actually, a friend of mine was on the way there, and they got turned away at the door. Like, we're not letting people in. You might as well go to your car because of the weather. So, yeah, that was kind of tough. But when she came out, I knew she was going to go hard, and she did.
Did
like,
she?
She went insane.
Yeah.
Sounded great, but that's enough of that. Trying to make sure I don't miss no stories out for y'all. I got a story I want to tell y'all, but I'll tell you guys in the next episode.
Well, I know for one, speaking of like bad weather and whatnot, I just recently saw footage of her literally performing in the pouring rain.
That's right.
I mean, like, her hair is soaking wet, but she is giving her all.
Yep.
She don't sound no different.
Yep.
I mean, like, I don't know how you do that. How do you sing through the rain like that?
I put on my story because I was at the barbecue I told y'all about, and they said Blue was stiff. They also said Beyonce wasn't a great singer, and I was triggered. I've been triggered since then. So if I've been snippy with anybody this week, I apologize.
That's why, because they just catching the backlash of you having.
I'm serious. Someone made a joke to me the other day, and I just was like, "Oh, you thought this was time for conversation?"
I don't want to be.
I was triggered. I was triggered.
I want to be able to allow people to have their own opinions. I can understand if you are like, some of her songs just aren't my taste or my style.
Part, yeah.
But for you to try to deny her talent vocally or her performances, like,
because
we probably can't talk.
Like, you're choosing not to acknowledge talent.
Yes,
that bothers me because you're weird.
Because I feel like you're just doing it because
it's cool to hate it.
Everybody likes it.
I just told my brother this the other day.
That's the problem.
He took a minute. I mean, you as a basketball person, I feel like maybe you would want to say something, but it took a minute for Caleb to like accept what I was saying, because I'm like, Beyonce is the LeBron James of her field. She's one of the most hated people in her field. Like, and I think it's because when you're the best of the best in your field, it's easier to hate you.
Yeah.
And I feel like with LeBron, obviously he gets so much hate, and
you know what I always say? people like Steph Curry more because he's relatable.
Mm.
He's smaller, so everybody feels like they can do what he does.
Yeah.
LeBron, everybody can't do that.
Right.
With Jordan, everybody can do. Like, anybody that can't do what you do, everybody kind of hates on him more.
Okay.
And then everybody
I can shoot the ball all day, but I can't go through and dunk on somebody like LeBron could. Like,
which is crazy you say that because I just saw a podcast. Don't forget your thought because I just heard you about to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw a podcast where they were like, Nicki Minaj was the only female rapper at her time for like, let's say 8 years.
Yeah.
She was influencing, but her crowd, like her fans, she was influencing. Yeah. Cardi B came out, and then all of a sudden, all these female rappers came out because they could do that. Mm-hmm. Well, they couldn't do what Nicki was doing. Yeah. They can't do what LeBron is doing because he is 40-something years old competing with 18, 19-year-olds in his field and outperforming them. Mm-hmm. Beyonce is outperforming everybody in her field. Yeah. They don't like that. But Steph shoots threes, and everybody can shoot threes now.
I hate to say it, we were talking about Beyonce and Rihanna the other day. A lot more people like Rihanna because she's a great performer, but she's not a strong singer. I can go and dance my butt off, but I can't dance and sing at the same time and sound that good like Beyonce could. So nothing against Rihanna.
Yeah, we love Rihanna here.
Yeah,
we love her, absolutely.
But not to mention,
it's a difference, though.
Not to mention the fact that if it's somebody that you're comparing to a great, to a GOAT, so like LeBron James gets compared to Michael Jordan, which is like, that's fair. And if you're going to compare me to somebody, I would want you to compare me to Michael Jordan. With Beyonce, people compare her her talent to Michael Jackson. Yeah. If I was going to be compared to someone, I would want it to be Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. Don't let me be the artist that's performing at State Fair. I'm not on that. But you can have your corn and everything else.
Yes. I State Fair.
Yes, I want to be.
You disgenuine like that.
I want to be compared. I want to be compared to the great. So I'm fine with that. I don't mind if you're like, well, I feel like Michael Jackson is well, that's good. That's fine if you do. But at the end of the day, as far as, living artists, we're going to have to give it to Beyonce. And really don't compare. Really, you shouldn't compare. Everybody has their own lane.
Well, I feel like, okay, here's my opinion. We don't have to get into it, but I just believe that I've seen her a few times, and after seeing this show and seeing that video of her in the rain, I was actually kind of like, she was floating in the thing in the air in the rain. Yeah. And I'm like, any other performer would have been like, no, not in the rain, and we won't do that part. Mm-hmm. But I just felt like, I'm like, it's kind of dangerous, but I feel like she's the only one performing full on. Vocally is still like the album. She sounds the same. Mm-hmm. We haven't had artists do that. Like, Tina Turner was a performer out of this world. Yeah. And she sounded amazing. Mm-hmm. It's not a lot of people that can do that. Yeah.
Diana Ross did it, though.
But Diana Ross wasn't strong vocally, in my opinion.
She did great in that show, though.
Yeah. But
I like Diana Ross. But she's not a strong vocalist. Yeah. In my opinion.
But again, like you like what you like for certain artists, and it's just that you gotta just give everybody, like I said, you gotta put them in their own category sometimes. Sometimes they deserve that. Michael Jackson deserves his own category. He doesn't need to be compared to anybody else. He can just be his own.
He's definitely in the top. I mean, some people might say James Brown and let's see, who else?
I don't like that no one ever says Prince. It drives me insane.
People do say Prince.
Not enough.
Say Prince.
Not as much as they say Michael.
He's such a musician. He wasn't as big of a dancer as Michael was, but I mean,
I feel like
he still put on the show.
The thing about Beyonce for me is she makes you feel what she's doing. Mm-hmm. And I just watched a podcast with her lead background dancer, the captain. Yeah. I forget her name, the black one.
I don't know. I
forget her name. Amari. She said, they were like, what makes a great dancer? Because obviously you're the captain of Beyonce's dance crew. She was like, a great dancer is somebody that makes you feel through what they're doing. Yeah. That is Beyonce made you feel it. Yes. And then Michael made you feel it. Prince made you feel it. Yes. I just saw Tina Turner the other day performing and she's running out on a ramp over the crowd with no wires on her. And I was like,
at that time, I think she was over 50.
She was.
Yeah.
And she's on the thing in heels.
In heels.
I was like, this is crazy. And through watching that, I just was like, Like, it woke me up a little
You
bit.
gave her much respect. You had to give her much respect.
Like, I'm like, why am I getting excited?
Yeah.
And this was forever ago.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Whitney would sing to the point where she was sweating. Okay? Sweating. And that could have been because in
That
the
wasn't
late 80s,
the reason.
the AC wasn't good.
That wasn't.
But-
Oh,
was
you
it not her
said.
effort?
It wasn't the AC that was causing
Why
the
was she
sweating.
sweating like that?
It wasn't the.
I thought it was the energy.
It wasn't the sequence on the outfits. It wasn't.
Nope.
Oh, that's right.
Nope.
She was.
Nope.
She was not sweating because of the passion.
No, it was
Yes, she was.
something.
Well,
There was some substance.
that was motivated sweat.
allegedly. There was some.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
motivated
going
sweat.
on. There was something else going on, but
But
that's
that
okay.
was early. Like, that was in the late 80s. She
No.
was sweating like that. Early
No.
90s, y'all.
No.
The videos I was referring to, I know what y'all are saying.
Yeah.
But was she doing that always?
All
No.
Wait.
I
I
don't know
thought
if she
signs
sweat
didn't
like
show
that.
until after Bobby.
no.
We knew before that. Y'all knew before that.
No,
We were
Exactly.
too young at that time.
We
We
were
didn't
So
know.
why
young.
do people think she was sweating?
we know
For
why.
performance, the
Now
lights
we
are
know
high.
why.
But regardless, if we know now, I mean, I'm just saying whether it was whatever we found out, we could still see footage of the sweat. So
So
we
at
know.
that concert, when you see her with that towel, what are you thinking? You're like, dang, this lady is going hard, right?
I mean,
Like, if you were at that time, let's say it's 92 and you at a Whitney concert and she's sweating bullets, hair sweat out, and she ain't dancing. Are we thinking, wow, she's really so passionate?
Listen, those lights were hot. I just saw footage of Luther
That's what I was
Vandross
thinking.
sweating, and
Well,
Luther, yeah,
Luther wasn't. Was he doing something?
he wasn't sweating like that, but Luther would be sweating.
Yeah.
He
Was
was.
it
that
big?
was
it
different.
big
That
Luther or
curl
little
was
Luther?
glistening.
Which Luther was it?
I mean,
It was a big Luther.
yeah. So
That's
we
why he was
know
sweating.
why. We know why in his circumstances, in his case too.
No, the lights
What
are
was
hot,
that? What's
guys.
that?
Michael Jackson was sweating too.
Yeah.
All of them, these people be sweating.
Luther was eating? You mean that's
He was singing about KFC on the stage one time.
Turkey legs.
I've been drinking. I cannot. Can we?
Kentucky Fried
I
Chicken.
thought you were going somewhere else with that. Okay. We have to give y'all some hot topics real fast. Because surprise. She's sick, bro. Ham. Okay, surprise. Y'all get in 2 episodes. Because we missed y'all. So we're going to round this one out with some hot topics.
Yes.
And then we're going to give you something we haven't done in a very long time. An actual episode with a topic.
Mm-hmm.
But hot topics, you mentioned something earlier. I know you don't want to go into it as much as I do. So I'm going to save my shenanigans for after you give your common sense. Because
Okay.
she's going to look at it with a good perspective lens.
Okay.
But you mentioned DDG.
Oh.
We didn't get to work and talk to y'all about that.
Yeah, so we're just gonna tiptoe
She gonna tip-tap.
into some
I got
into
opinions.
some stuff. So we know that obviously everyone at this point has heard a lot of stuff in regards to like DDG and Hallie, and with her getting court approved, what was it? What's it called? Custody over their son, Halo, and also
Well, restraining order too.
well, I was gonna say, yeah, it's a restraining order. I don't know so much about custody, but maybe it goes
I think
hand
she's
in
the
hand.
sole-
Like she has sole custody right now. Yeah, and to be honest with you, I just hope that whatever's going on, that he takes this time to just get some help, and even if that means. If it means, I don't know what it means. I just think that they just need some time. I think that, initially it was like so great to be able to see them and see them working it out and in a relationship, and then that stopped and ended, and then they were co-parenting. But it's just sometimes I think when you're in the industry and you having certain schedules and you having certain things, I know people who are co-parenting and they aren't on that level of having schedules and celebrityism and whatever you want to say, and they struggle to get it right and struggle to get it together. So I can only imagine when you got that kind of pressure and you got different schedules and you're trying to raise a child and you want to see your kid, and then they want to see their kid at a certain time, and it just gets stressful. But regardless, you have to have respect for one another. You have to contain that stress so that it doesn't come out in other ways that may be deemed abusive to another person, whether it's verbal abuse or physical abuse or both. You want to be able to really, like I said, just put a cap on all of that, because it's not good. It's not good for you. Obviously, it's not good for the person. And it's definitely not good for any child or children that are involved. So that's my 2 cents, is that I just hope that regardless, everyone gets a chance and an opportunity to get themselves together, especially on behalf of their son that they have, because that's going to be for a lifetime. They have that child together, and they're always going to be connected by way of him.
That was beautiful.
Not
You
the
put
glasses.
your hands on the Little Mermaid. You are a YouTuber, and now Soulja Boy is clowning you like this. And
Soulja Boy.
yeah, Soulja Boy has been like, when I see him, I'm laying my hands on him.
Stop it.
That's what he been saying.
No.
And he did a club showing the other day, and he just was like, everybody in the crowd say bleep DDG.
No.
Yep. And they all said it. Let me tell you something.
Soulja Boy trying to put his hand.
Yeah, he probably ain't gonna do nothing. But she may have been a toxic girlfriend. Let's just say worst case scenario. Okay. Really? Leave her. You put, and now there's pictures on Instagram of these bruises on her and whatnot. I don't like that, because I love that girl and her sister.
Yeah. It's
Vocally, what they
unfortunate.
do is amazing. They look beautiful. I don't know those people personally. Maybe they're, I can't say nothing. But putting your hands on a woman is just unacceptable.
Because honestly, what does that
There's
mean?
no
What does that
rhyme or
even
reason.
mean? What does that say to say that she is toxic and she's the one? So that means she deserves
Exactly.
to get
I can't.
Yeah.
Like, maybe
mistreated?
if she
I
had a
don't think
knife
so.
threatening your life and you had to try to because I'm not above that. Like, you got to knock somebody out because they're gonna stab and kill you. Fine, but call 911. I just don't get it. Don't put your hands on a woman. I was very sad about that. But you have a baby involved now, and that baby is the funniest baby online.
that baby is the funniest baby. And once again, none of us would know your business if you weren't streaming at the time and reading things out loud or putting stuff out in the
Well, I mean, it was gonna leak regardless.
Oh, I guess
because
so.
I guess court documents some of them are public. But here's the thing, though. I feel like he got online a couple days later and just like, I'm still that dude. I'm still this. I'm still that. So the way he's carrying himself about it, you gotta have quiet. Like, be quiet. If you're gonna still stream and do your job. Don't acknowledge it. But a stand-up man would have not said anything about that. He would have handled his business in private. Let the world say what they're gonna say. The problem is these people don't get media training no more, because Hallie ain't said nothing. She ain't said nothing at all. So now she looks graceful and classy with it all. So it's just like, bro, grow up. I was just very sad about that. Didn't like it.
I will say that I was I wasn't surprised. I was surprised with some of the other reactions. Like, I knew that he was going to have backing. I knew that he was going to have some of his people and followers that were like, oh no, this can't be. He's such a great father. And once again, this wasn't attacking
Being a good father
him
don't got
being a
nothing to do with
dad.
putting your
Like,
hands on
you could be a great father and be a terrible father, boyfriend, or a terrible person.
Right.
So it's like, that's not what's in question right now.
Right.
It's the fact that he is not handling his stress and or anger properly, and and lashing it out at your girlfriend.
And I just don't know
not
how
okay.
you can't justify that. You can't. There's nothing you can say.
No.
Which leads me to my next thought, because Chris Brown thought it was a good idea. He finally got a Grammy. We knew he was getting blackballed from CBS and Paramount and all these companies that said they would never work with him. That's why he never performed at the Super Bowl and all these things because of Rihanna, whatever. You finally get a Grammy, and you finally are like getting your flowers. And you thought it was smart to say free Tory, who shot his friend. I was gonna say shot a woman, but it's not good to shoot any gender. But you shot Meg, my girl.
Well, and then to find out he hit somebody over the head with a bottle overseas.
And then you go and travel overseas. Rock Nation or your manager or someone should have known, hey, we can do this tour, but we can't go here because you're wanted there.
I mean, like, how
They
hard
came
is
and got
that?
him though from a different city, so he was close to it, but he didn't actually go to the
But
city.
you thought you should go to that country?
But how
I
hard
don't
would
know.
that have been to be like, you know what, not right now?
Like, go over your paperwork and be like, y'all, we're going to do this tour, but he's wanted here. He's got paperwork here. Go around this country. They don't get a concert.
they don't get a concert.
The one place you're wanted, you get arrested.
Or keep moving. Like if he would have been performing on like a boat or like a cruise like boat.
Don't
like,
put your feet on that ground.
As he's going by, he could have been performing. If you see me, you see me.
Like,
but I gotta get over to the next country because I don't have that. I don't have time.
But then when I looked at why, it was like 2 years ago he did bust his bottle over somebody's head and fight him in the club.
I mean, was that self defense? Like we don't know. We weren't there.
This is true.
So
he can go to jail for fighting with Drake. Oh no, he didn't actually.
No, he probably had to pay a ticket. But I also feel like guys are gonna fight.
Guys are gonna fight, but again, it's about controlling it. You can fight without getting a bottle and hitting somebody over the head. Well, you can fight without shooting someone. Remy Ma, like you don't have to.
She's caught a stray.
She stabbed somebody.
Oh, she stabbed somebody.
She just caught the wildest stray.
Like this is okay. This is not okay.
Under the table.
This is not okay.
Yeah, I thought she shot her under the table.
I thought she shot her. She stabbed her.
She stabbed her in the stomach.
I thought she shot her in the stomach.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's even worse.
Over $1,000 is what Nikki said. $1,000. You gonna shoot me over $1,000?
I mean,
stab me over $1,000.
That was a lot of money back then. It's a lot of money now still. I mean,
but my thing is,
you're gonna make that back at the next club appearance you do. You just stabbed me under the stomach. Under the table.
Wait, let me see. Was she
$1,000?
Wait, we have to be accurate. Was she shot or stabbed?
It doesn't matter. It was $1,000.
No, she stabbed her, but I was trying to remember if the girl was pregnant or something like that.
It was her friend.
It was a friend.
Yeah, it was.
It was not a friend.
It was.
No.
That's what Nikki said. She said her song. You stab your friend over a stack or a shot. One of the two. But I know no violence is good. Like, no, that shouldn't be happening. So obviously, Chris, like, you got to do your time if you did the crime. But I just was rooting for you, and then you said that. I don't know why people are saying free Tory. It's bothering me, because he did that. Yeah. You shot this girl, and now he's saying the friend shot the girl. That was just a couple weeks ago. We didn't get to talk about that.
That's true.
So he's like, no, there's new evidence that says Kelsey shot her.
I'm sorry, they said they actually shot her, but it was an accusation of stabbing though. Oh. So I'm like, I thought I heard that she stabbed her. But they said she actually did shoot her.
They're taking over. They're taking over.
These guns are going crazy.
But again, like even with the whole Tory Lanez thing, it's just like, well, then you got to stop, because we remember and we can go back and we can see.
And where's
that you
Kylie?
Were talking about.
Somebody ask her.
You were talking about you are so sorry and you were apologizing. What were you apologizing for
record.
if she was the one that shot her?
But then I feel so bad because he got stabbed 14 times in prison.
They put the video out too.
Oh, did they?
I didn't watch it.
I can't look at that
video.
I don't want to see that, but I guarantee you, some things to me are just always so, like, the timing is like.
You think they hired somebody to do that?
Yeah, because like why you want sympathy for that? And it's just like, that's ridiculous.
You thought you were gonna get out of jail because you got stabbed 14 times.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna stitch you up and put you back in that cell. You shot that girl in her feet. I'm sorry, I don't have no sympathy. And my friends be messing with me. They be like, free Tory, free Tory. And
no.
And I don't like that kind of stuff.
No, don't say that.
And part of me wants to say that even if I wasn't into Meg like that, I would still feel the same. Like,
yeah,
you shot somebody. Like you shot a woman.
Somebody just came out and said that it was possible that he didn't do it, and everybody is like, free him. It's like nobody said anything in court yet. Like, until they go to court and show that evidence, this man cannot be freed. He's still guilty.
But then I feel bad because somebody was like, but you should be innocent until proven guilty. And I'm like, but he's
already proven guilty.
They already did a court case. This is done.
Which is leading me to Diddy's trial. Because Diddy has been on, and I've been trying to, I literally, the first 2 days, I'm like, I'm going to keep up with this so we can talk about it. I was depressed.
No, and disgusted. You honestly can't, because you have to, that stuff. No.
And I know. No. Well, so then the sympathetic side of me, once again, it comes out because the way he grew up with his mother, I believe he grew up maybe in a home where she was
dibbling and dabbling,
making money off of activities she shouldn't have been. Mm-hmm. He's seen this as a child. Then I know the story where he grew up with the roaches running across his face. So I know that there's like the little kid in him is like, I'm going to make so much money that I'm never broke again. I'm going to have so much power to where nobody can put me in this bad place again. I get that. Mm-hmm. But it's also those childhood traumas coming out in this disgusting way. And unfortunately, you're still guilty for what you did.
Yeah.
And you got to do the time.
Because you can, there's always a limit. And unfortunately, I feel like certain times or for certain people, when they get a certain amount of power and money, they don't want to be told they have a limit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is the stuff that now gets you into trouble and to committing a crime, because that's the whole point in things being deemed and considered a crime. That is saying this right here, you've gone too far.
I feel like they'll be like, well, how much money is it going to take for me to get a yes? And sometimes the answer is just no. I don't want to do that with you. Or I don't want to do this or that. But then I know people are like, well, why did Cassie stay? Da, 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 da. If this was so horrible, why did you stay? Sometimes you could be mistreated and still stay because you either are in love with that person and you think they're going to get it together. Like, I don't know why
I think that's victim shaming. I feel like that's victim shaming.
We as humans are in horrible situations sometimes, like normal life, not celebrity world. We have been in maybe a relationship where the person didn't respect us and we were like, oh, they'll change or I can change them. That's normal to y'all.
Yeah.
But now that they're millionaires and celebrities, they don't get that same reasoning.
People underestimate fear too.
That too.
Because I'm like, they were saying all that stuff about Cassie. I'm like, you imagine somebody with money, really, even with R. Kelly, it's like, you don't know what that person is capable of doing or sending somebody to do
even
to you.
Even the threats they make. Maybe they are empty threats, but you don't know that.
Exactly.
He blew up Kid Cudi car.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, if
supposedly,
you can do
allegedly.
that. No, Kid Cudi.
They're trying to strike his...
they're trying to say that doesn't count in court?
Yeah. They were saying some stuff about his testimony. Because there is no actual proof that Puffy did it.
Well, I mean, that's probably true.
Yeah, but they don't have anything from him. Yeah.
But he said he had a phone call from, I guess you have to hear the phone
you would
call.
have to hear the phone call. Or at least see a text if someone was like, I'm going to blow your stuff
I'm
up.
not going to lie, y'all. I am struggling listening to Diddy. Like, I skipped songs with him in it.
I don't have a problem. And you know what? But
I was listening to I Need a Girl, the one with Usher.
Yeah.
And I was like, ugh. Because he says we used to play a fight undercover. You was like more than my girl. You was like my brother. Delete.
Oh.
Then I had to be like, well, let me check the part 2 version because I got that on my phone with Genuine.
Yeah. I got both of those too.
I think Genuine's version is better than Usher's version. Is that crazy?
I like them for different reasons.
The beats are different.
They're incredible
both
songs.
Hits.
They are. But not that Genuine sounds better, but the beat was better on his
version. Yeah.
I just feel
that
like
was the party version.
I just feel like I can separate the two.
Yeah, you can.
I feel like I can separate the two.
But now, and then the one with Nicole, Shrieking and Try.
Oh.
That song with Diddy.
Schusinger.
I heard that on my phone the other day, and I was like, I can't delete this. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta. And then I was googling, does Diddy have a song with Beyonce? Does he have one with Jay-Z?
He does have one with her.
He does.
He does.
Both
of them.
But it was early.
Yeah,
it was early Diddy. He didn't have song.
Well, during that time, he was Diddy though. I mean, like you can't deny that.
He wasn't Diddy.
Yes,
it was on Fighting Temptations soundtrack.
He definitely
wasn't Diddy
was.
then.
Yes, he was.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's been Diddy since '96.
Oh, yes, but that
Before
Diddy wasn't. But that Diddy's
92.
not even. Guys, yes, but he wasn't making the band Diddy. Like, there's levels to Diddy.
What?
Yeah, he was.
His money keeps, the more money he makes.
He was already there with his money.
He wasn't dealing with Cassie at that time, but there's other lawsuits out there like from '99 and other stuff like that.
Remember, it was like 2012 or in that range.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Jay-Z were like neck and neck. One year it would be him as the richest rapper ever, and then it was Jay-Z, and they were neck and neck, right?
Yeah.
2002 Diddy is not that Diddy.
He is
what I'm saying. No,
but he was the Diddy as far as having
that was
access.
We ain't going nowhere.
As far as having access and being able to and have his power.
Fair.
He may not have had
he wasn't the same
dollar
mold.
amount.
Yeah.
But he definitely was the same dude. Like he's been for
he
a
was
long
a creep.
time.
But what I'm saying is that money changed, and then that mogul status changed later on. He wasn't Diddy with Carisha.
Yeah, it just got worse. If you now have,
right.
Versus me just sending someone to your house to beat you up versus me sending someone to your house with
I didn't know you were going to say that.
Me sending someone with dynamite to blow your car up.
Yeah,
we could see where the levels changed as
You're
far
right.
as,
because I forgot the journalist, I forgot the lady's name. She was telling her story about it, and it was back from like the late 90s with him like sending threats and things like that. So it's Diddy, Puffy, Papa Diddy, he's been that for a long time.
The guy I was telling y'all this a long time ago, but Torre,
yeah.
the podcaster.
Yo.
I don't know what. He's just been around for a long time.
Yeah, the light skinned dude with the big hair. Yeah,
he was the one did the podcast with Beyonce's dance captain Amari.
Yes.
So when I saw him, I'm like, that's the guy that I was. I didn't know his name then, but he's the one that's saying he got his nephew a job working in the industry because he's well connected.
Yes.
And he got him a job working with Diddy, and he only worked for like. Either a day or a week, one of the two. And he was like, I'm not going back to that job, Uncle. And he's like, why? And he wouldn't tell him for the longest. And then all this stuff came out, and he finally told him, like, this is why. Like, this is exactly why I didn't go back to the work. He just was like, why didn't you tell me and all this stuff?
That's
but
the fear.
Like, right. But it just goes to show, like, you've been acting a fool for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And now you have to sit down. And part of me is sympathetic because his kids are going to the trial and showing up. And I'm like, they got to hear this about this man. That's so sad.
Yeah.
You can't erase that stuff because you know what's gonna happen next. I'll be sure is gonna drop his movie or his book about Diddy killing Kim because that's what he's still on, and them kids aren't gonna recover.
Now the daughters, I do feel some kind of way, but when it comes to the sons, I feel like they've already been exposed, unfortunately, to a lot of stuff that their father has probably done.
Because
so I feel like it's
older?
not gonna be, and I feel like it's not a shock. And you treat your boys differently.
You don't think
like
it's a shock?
I don't think it's a shock to them with that type of behavior. But when I heard what he did with just before his sons or his oldest son was even old enough, what he did as far as with Usher and having Usher's, being responsible for Usher being involved with a paid, prostitute at the age of like 13, 14.
Yeah.
That's your first sexual encounter. And we might cut this, but yeah, I just didn't.
That sentence, but because I feel like that's a good point.
Yeah,
like guys are groomed because Boosie did that. Boosie got his son
just about to say that.
You've got to be kidding me.
As a gift for his birthday or something.
And how old was he?
He was like 15.
Yeah, I don't
You're
think
kidding me.
The lenses, like with girls,
and put it out there on social media like it was okay, and it's like, no, Boosie, you can't do this.
Wasn't like, what are you doing?
Nobody said. I mean, people.
Are you kidding
people
me?
didn't. They're
Nobody
serious.
got an eye.
Do you know what they're doing with the little girl who is doing the Boots song and she's fanning and it's a little girl. Someone called CPS on her mother and was like, the way that she's dancing is too provocative and it's inappropriate. And she was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Everybody came for Young Miami when she had her son in the room with, I think it was some dancers, and they were like, "Why do you have your son?"
It was just her friends, I think.
Either still,
and
like you shouldn't be doing that in front of a little boy. And she was like, "Well, don't judge." I was like, "No, that's your child."
I agree.
She's little for that.
But they treat women and men differently.
They do.
We know
obviously.
that within our society. They
a child is a child. It don't even matter.
Yeah,
it shouldn't.
Child is a child. But even with what we said about Diddy and Boosie, like that is so crazy that you bring that up because it's true. They don't think it's too much. The girls, like Diddy, obviously would never want his daughter to do anything that Cassie ever was involved in.
Right.
But it was okay for you to do it to Cassie though.
Yeah, you're doing it to somebody else's daughter. But again, it's and unfortunately, if you have to get high or be on drugs in order to do those things, you probably shouldn't be doing those things.
You know it's wrong.
Like just come on now.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think for hot topics. Was there anything else we said that we were gonna address real fast?
I know.
Cowboy Carter, DDG,
Diddy, Chris Brown.
I hate
Diddy.
that it's not positive, guys.
I know. A lot of stuff. I mean, besides Cowboy Carter,
everything is negative. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. The world is just. That's why even when we talked about this episode, I was like, there has not been much going on lately that I even want to address. I didn't really want to address some of that stuff, but I mean, it's what we talk about.
Okay, there is one thing.
Read that for us, please.
Okay, so it was reported that AMC theaters will slash prices on Wednesdays by 50% starting in July.
And I love that. I would never go to an AMC theater here.
No.
Because I
only got one.
Exactly. That's the one that had the bed bugs. I would never.
We do Marcus over here.
Yeah, that's all we got here.
We saw Mr. Marcus.
You saw Mr.
Well, I don't know what his real name is.
Oh, the white dude?
Yes.
Hey.
He was at, he's a white man.
It is the white man. He come on before the movie starts.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Mr. Marcus, shout out to you.
They know he a white man.
I
own a movie theater. You thought it was a black man.
I did it, but is it because y'all are drinking? Because why would you need to say that?
I mean, how else would you describe
The white man?
That's how black
I meant
folks-
to say the
that's
white
how
guy
we-
that comes on
You
at the
don't.
beginning
White
of the
guy
movie
doesn't
theater.
sound good
I
either. You could
seen
just
the
say the
post-
guy.
Look,
The
Smart,
white
I just
guy
seen
at
a
the
post
beginning
on
of this
Instagram and
movie.
it said black people have the most craziest way of describing folks, and it said it'll be like the fat one that's been on Ozempic for 2 years.
Yes.
I was like, what?
You know exactly who I'm talking about.
It
I was
sounds
playing-
terrible.
I was playing the Black Taboo, and someone had my card, and it said Maya Angelou, and I was like, "Oh, black," and she did poems,
Did you say old black?
Old black and she did poems.
and they got it on the first guess.
And they said my
It's because of the poems. That's why. It ain't because she old and black.
But they knew. They were like, okay, poetry. I'm not going to say somebody young.
And still I rise.
I should have said it. No, I think on the card you couldn't say that,
Oh.
but they got it off old black and did poems.
Dang.
So the way we describe people is how we describe them.
That's
But
crazy.
I saw Marcus, Mr. Marcus, or whatever who he is.
Yeah.
He was at he was at St. Kate.
Oh, really?
And I was
Oh.
there watching the band perform, and my friend, she was like, "That's the guy in the theaters." And I was like, "Go ask him." And she went up and asked him.
Really?
I think his last name is Marcus, though.
I don't know what she said. She was like, "Are you?" Whatever she said to him, I don't know if she said Mr. Marcus or I just know they ended up
Mr.
talking for a little bit. He was very
Marcus.
nice.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, very nice. I was like,
That's
"You
so
came
cool.
back with no movie ticket?"
Why would he have just random movie tickets in his pocket?
Nobody even recognized that man. He was walking through there like normal. Nobody paid attention to him. And she went and spoke, and he like smiled. And then I heard him say, "Well, it depends." And then when she came back, she rolled her eyes and she was like, "Corny jokes." I was like,
Well, what if it wasn't
Guarantee
him?
you, they said
It
that's the
was,
white man
yeah.
at the
But
beginning
what
of the
if
movies.
we know it was him.
What if
His
it
jokes
wasn't
at the beginning
him?
of the movies be corny.
They are. But what if it wasn't him and he was just like,
Gonna lie
yeah.
about
Yeah,
it?
everybody says I look like him and it's
Why
not
would
even
you
me.
lie about that? If somebody came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, Trey Songz," I would be like,
So there's a lot of people that do it.
"What?" Because in high school, first off, when I got my haircut really low, my sister can attest to this. 2 people came up to me and were like, "Oh my God, you look like." I got Chris Brown, Trey Songz, and T.I. all in 1 week.
Kelsey, you don't need. All those people look completely different.
I can't tell you the people looking at me why they would say that.
All right.
Maybe it was the haircut style we all had. You know, black guys were getting the buzz cuts back then.
This is true.
We wasn't on the waves. I mean, we were on waves.
Yes, we were on
we
the
were
waves,
on waves.
yes.
We always been on waves. You got something to say, Simone? People said I looked like Chris Brown in school.
Okay.
And then for a little bit, I was getting Trey Songz. The darker I got, my melanin was
What's the
coming in.
next topic?
That's because you had a crush on Trey Songz for a little bit. Let me tell you something.
No, you ain't got nothing to tell me.
I've been the trigger of Milwaukee for a long time before the court cases. Yeah, people. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
When I was 6-packed up,
Let's move on because
I'm not lying. It's not because of my drink. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. When I had a 6-pack at 21, people thought I was Trey Songz all the time.
Did you just say a 6-pack?
I did. I have photos of my 6-pack. Y'all don't believe I would had a 6? Oh no. That's the end of this episode. We'll be back. You guys, you're getting 2 episodes. I'm so excited. And we're gonna be because I'm the only one not laughing.
we don't need.
No. Y'all wanted to do me like this. I had
We
a
will
6-pack
not. We're
at
not going to
21.
post this picture on here for you guys.
this-
Y'all
is
not
a-
gonna get
Y'all
the
don't need
picture,
to see
but
the
I had a
6-pack.
6-pack at 21.
If this is an AI face on another body, I'm going to throw his phone.
Why would y'all think I would do something like that? It's a video proof of me with a 6-pack at the pool.
Now we have to put it on there. He's showing it to him. Yeah.
Don't laugh. It looked like I was on Ozempic back then. Before
what?
It looked. That's what I mean. It looks like I was doing what Whitney was doing. Like if I wanted to get in that shape again, do you see that 6-pack?
You look like a baby.
I was 20.
You look 12.
Oh, actually, in that picture, I might have been like 19. But I'm sorry. And I had one through, and then this is me after I turned 21 with a 6-pack. The fact that I keep these is so depressing. This is so depressing.
Oh, no, it's not. Everybody does that.
Yeah, because I had to hold on to something. I was in the gym yesterday dying, and I'm like, I'm
You
going to
look
get it.
at
I'm
that,
going to
you be
get
like,
it.
yeah, motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation.
We all got old
You
pictures
know,
of
because
ourselves.
over COVID, my stomach was hanging over my drawers, and I'm like,
Oh my God. My stomach was hanging over my
that's disgusting. I want to sit down, and I don't want nothing to say. This isn't good. It's gritty, but you can see the pecs.
Yeah, it's there.
If you want to get beat up, this is the end of this episode.
Okay, guys.
We'll see you guys in our next episode, and I'll be in the same outfit with no haircut. But we're going to be talking about mental health, and I'm so excited. So we'll see you guys shortly.
Hi.